let's talk another game franchise that has arguably potentially gone on for a bit too long. Pokemon.
Pokemon. Well, now Pokemon Unite. Basically, League of Legends meets Pokemon. I think it looks. I think it's the I think it's one of the most natural evolutions in Pokemon, and it's probably the most unique thing we've seen come out of Pokemon since Pokemon Snap, maybe, or Pokemon Stadium. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty unique for Pokemon. Sadly, I don't think it's very unique overall for gaming. And this is one of those things where it seems so backwards. And maybe I'm wrong because I used to just not know about less famous games. But it feels like the bigger game companies and stuff are now starting to mimic the indie games.
Yep.
And I don't know. I still wish that I let me phrase this properly. I've always wanted to see a Pokemon game where it's more like a Pokemon war instead of like a one-on-one or a two-on-two Pokemon battle where it's like you take turns.
Yep.
I've always wanted to see a more interactive Pokemon game, and yeah, I know there's a Pokemon fighting game. Let's ignore that. But I love the concept of you're playing a Pokemon that actually moves, actually fights. There's actually a team, even though it's not like an army or a warfare scenario. It's a team fighting each other. I think that's kind of cool. I'm
I
not the biggest fan of these styles of games. Even though I like StarCraft, I never got into League of Legends and stuff.
Yeah, and
What about you?
that's what League is. Basically, Dota is a mod of like the Warcraft 3, which is an RTS, so it's similar in look, but I've never really been big into League, I'll be honest. Even like Heroes of the Storm, Dota 2, whatever. Never been big on them. So I think just
Hmm.
it seems like Pokemon Unite it's going to be accessible. It doesn't look crazy complicated. Like it's on the Switch first and foremost. It's getting launched to mobile later, so you're appealing to a child crowd, so it's got to be simple for them. Um, but
Counterpoint. May I make a quick counterpoint?
of course, make it quick.
Halo Wars 1 may have been a bit of a flop in terms of complication for the fans, and it gave them a very hard balancing point of they wanted to bring in casuals, but they wanted, the hardcore StarCraft players to play.
Yep.
But Halo Wars 2, even though it didn't really up the game too much, I I I was a pretty big StarCraft player for a while, and I had a good time with Halo Wars 2. Um, may I argue that if they keep this just complicated enough, they might actually be able to entertain the actual crowd of kids and Dota players?
Well, the thing is, though, like with any game or game console, it's the adults that have the money. They're going to be the ones buying it. And you're also introducing this new Pokemon game, which is more of a mature game, really, like League of Legends. That's more, I say mature, but I'm probably speaking out of term there. But, you know, it's the children that grew up with Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow are now adults around 26 to 30-ish. So they're going to be the ones that see this. And it's like, hey, it's finally a air quote breath of fresh air into Pokemon. I mean, it's something that's been around for maybe 10, 15 years, but it's something that's, the MOBA style game is new to Pokemon. And that's like a big company thing. It's safer to stick with what they know, i.e., the typical Pokemon game where you get 8 badges and kill gym leaders, or uh, you
Right.
know. But it's I think this is I hope this turns out well. It's being made by Tencent, which is apparently notorious for cosmetics and microtransactions. So we'll see how bad that goes. I mean, I
Mm.
hear the game's going to be free or fairly cheap to start. So
Oh,
if I got to pay for like
yeah,
a
it's going to be.
I yeah, I mean it's like Fortnite, right? You pay for the battle pass and the skins are like $20 each, which is nuts. Even the skins are like pathetically plain there. But I mean, if it costs like $20 to play get Pokemon Unite and you buy a skin, that's probably at the extent I'll put into it. Maybe like a Charizard skin or a Garchomp. That's probably be all I'll pay for if anything.
Mm.
I
Well,
like
on
being
the
able to
topic of skins,
yeah.
sorry.
No, let's say I like actually being able to unlock skins by doing things in game, like doing hard challenges, stuff like that. Kind of like the Bumblebee armor from Halo 3 or Hayabusa from Halo 3.
Mm. Yeah, the fact that it's almost free guarantees it's going to be microtransaction heavy
Yep.
and maybe some form of battle pass. And they have a very free avenue of money by saying, "Okay, we're going to release these new Pokemon."
Yep.
um,
100%.
yeah, yeah. All right, I will say one thing, and I know the Dota players will get on me. Dota players, hello. Um, the graphics look like every other Dota game. They look like they were made 15 years ago. They look like garbage. I will say this: StarCraft 2 looks better, and that game is going on 10 years old. I get that this game wants to look cartoony, and I my nostalgia is going off the charts seeing, Charizard pummel a bunch of Gen 3 Pokemon. But I I've been saying this for a long time about Pokemon. You can keep cartoony looks, but that's no excuse for your game to look like it came out in 2010. And I am thoroughly not impressed by the graphics I'm seeing in this trailer, even if they're trying to mimic other Dota games.
That's the issue, right? Like they can pump out like a simple Pokemon game every 2 or 3 years and make it cheap, and it'll still sell like gangbusters, right? It's
Right.
nuts. Like Pokemon Sword and Shield, not spectacular games out the gate. They're not bad now, but release garbage, and they still were the best-selling Pokemon games of all time. Like what the hell?
Hmm.
But I think the animations in this look cool. The upgrade paths, like you start with a Charmander, you get to a certain level, Charmeleon, then Charizard. You unlock different moves. You can upgrade your items to then, I don't know if you can get like choice bands or choice scarfs or assault vest to make you more tanky. There's
Hmm.
different classes, kind of like in Overwatch, where you have like attackers, you have defenders, like support, tanks, uh, different Pokemons within those subcategories. So yeah, I think the animations look cool. The Pokemon designs, they're not crazy. Like the levels, they're the basic, right? You have 3 lanes, you got jungling in the middle. How do you deviate from that? The standard MOBA. Uh, I
Hmm.
think, like you said, it looks dated. You got a Pokemon skin on top of it. It's gonna sell because it's got Pokemon in the name, but I think it's gonna be fun.
Now here's something I would be really interesting, because I'm skimming to, again, I've made it pretty obvious I'm watching YouTube as we're talking here. I would be I would be willing to say that the moves, especially because, as I just said, I always wanted to see a game where the Pokemon attack and engage a bit more realistically to, if they existed, how it would probably go.
Right.
The attacks look okay. I would love to find out, and I know they won't for balancing purposes, but these Pokemon could learn every attack that they could learn in the games.
I don't
Keep it to
know.
four. If what?
I think they can learn four, but I think at certain level points you have to actually swap out certain moves regardless of whether you want to or not. Like if you have to learn like Fire Punch over Tackle, but you want to keep Tackle because that's like a good side bonus, well you have to get rid of it anyways.
Oh, interesting. Well, I didn't mean that they have to be able to learn like 100 moves in one match. I mean like all the moves that they're capable of learning should be available as some form of, like, before the game. It's like a customize your build. What
Yep.
move set? Like I would like to see that. And I've always been really whiny about the fact, like, again, I love Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, guys, but now that I'm an adult, I'm willing to acknowledge there's some things that when you played a game on the Game Boy were limitations that could have eventually been dealt with. And one of those limitations is the fact that Pokemon can only know 4 moves.
That's a
Um,
complaint to this
I,
day.
I think this is a great opportunity for them to find a way to have Pokemon know 10 moves and not just get amnesia as soon as it tries to learn how to tail whip someone.
And not the move amnesia.
Yeah, well, yeah, not the move amnesia. You're right, because yeah, I mean, overall, it looks fun. It doesn't look like a my thing. I still would like to see a more grand scale Pokemon game, and you know what? I would almost like to see a grittier Pokemon game. I know that that's not what they're going for here, but
I mean, dude,
I don't know.
picture a like a World of Warcraft esque Pokemon game, like an MMO game with Pokemon.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. And
Oh,
I
good.
agree with the same sentiment as you. Like we're older, we can be more realistic and more critical. The things that were done on like a Game Boy Color could be excused because of the time, but we're in 2021. Technology's advanced so much. They should be able to make the games look beautiful and excellent and fluid and blah blah blah.
But I will say, at the end of the day, I mean, when I heard Pokemon being announced as a Dota, there was not an ounce of shock. It makes sense for the Pokemon universe. I think if they're not going to tread a new path, if they're not going to make their own way, a Dota makes sense. It fits in the Pokemon world. It makes sense. Even looking at this arena, I'm looking at the map they're showing right now. It's shaped in a Pokeball. It makes sense. Like, it really does, right? You could see in a Pokemon world a bunch of fans coming and watching this in a Pokemon tournament.
Yep.
It makes sense, and I'll give them credit that they chose something that it makes sense to evolve into. I just I don't know. I mean, we've had these talks during movie trailers before where it's like, I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I don't want to be that whiny YouTuber who does nothing but complain, but I just don't get hooked looking at it. Just like I don't get hooked when I look at Dotas. And I play over the, top view games looking down. I play those kind of games. Just not League of Legends and stuff. And maybe that's not why this is not for me, but every time I watch games like League of Legends, I think they could look nicer. I think they could play in a way that looks less frenetic so that people watching it can tell what's going on. And I know people who play the games, it's not actually that frenetic. But I think if the Pokemon company wants to go down the path of Dotas, they could have at least taken hey, we're a multi-billion dollar company.
Yep.
We take a step forward with these games instead of just mimicking what already exists.
And that's just that could be their time to like introduce their own flair or flavor aside from just the Pokemon paint. Like, oh, we do this thing, or we can introduce megas, or blah blah blah. Like,
Right.
there's so many cool avenues. Like, they could have like the moves, like you were saying, where you have like different maybe TMs that you can unlock to teach them unique moves, or have a different palette of like potentials, or I don't know, you find a Z crystal in the middle of the map, and that's something you guys can like as like a side goal, or I don't know. There's a lot of different things they could do to make this even better, or better than just a pass. But people who are fans of Pokemon be like, yes, because it's finally a different thing in their thing. It's different
Yeah.
for Pokemon.
I guess I'll just end it in this. No one from the Pokemon company is ever going to listen to this, but this goes to all big game companies. If you're going to straight up rip from smaller companies that even, they have one big game that's lasted a few years and that started off as nothing, at the very least you could do is one up them. Don't stoop to their level and their limitations. There's a reason why a lot of these games don't look as good as they could. And there's a
Exactly.
reason why a lot of these games depended on microtransactions and stuff to exist.
Besides greed.
You can, yeah, besides greed, um, you could do better. You could be better. Pokemon Company, honestly, at this point, I don't expect better of you. You're not the best example.
Nope.
Um,
Really.
but I expect better of a multi-billion-dollar company in terms of graphics, in terms of gameplay, from what I'm seeing. Um, and I would have expected more creativity. This could have been watching any of the Dotas, and it would have been not shocking if it was just kind of an expansion pack for them.
Yeah, exactly. Unique skins for Dota or League of Legends or whatever.
Yeah, that's all I got, guys. It's good talking to everyone. Y'all have a great evening.
Later, guys.